Picture a world suddenly thrown off balance. The essential systems we take for granted, electricity, communication networks, even civil order, can vanish in a blink. None of us want to believe it can happen, but history keeps proving how fast the line between normalcy and chaos can collapse when disaster strikes. And no help is coming. When that moment arrives, what stands between your loved ones and the unknown? For countless generations, people have relied on their own hands to defend, sustain, and endure. This isn't about fear, it's about ownership, preparation, and accountability. Today, we're diving headfirst into a subject every responsible household should consider: 7 essential weapons for survival. These are more than just tools, they're physical representations of our will to live, to fight, and to safeguard what matters most. And a few of them might surprise you, either because of their ingenious designs or the history behind them. So let's break it all down, because understanding your options is the first step toward being truly ready. When it comes to defending your home, few sounds are more recognizable or more intimidating than the racking of a pump shotgun in the still of the night. That shuck noise alone speaks volumes. For many seasoned shooters, a solid 12-gauge pump is the gold standard for defending your household. And with good reason. Take the Mossberg 500 series, first introduced in 1961, or the equally legendary Remington 870, which has been around since 1950. These aren't just firearms, they're American workhorses, trusted for decades by civilians, police, and military alike. Why? Because they're rugged, no nonsense, and dead reliable. You can drop them in the mud, run them hard, or neglect them for years. A quality 12-gauge pump, like the Mossberg 590A1, which was built to military specs, will just keep chugging along. Their biggest strength? Versatility. Load it with buckshot for in-home threats, slugs for more reach and punch, or even less lethal rounds for crowd control. The 12-gauge covers a wide range of needs. Plus, just seeing and hearing it in action can be enough to make an intruder rethink their life choices. That said, they're not perfect. Recoil can be stout, especially for smaller shooters, and they don't carry as many rounds as a good semi-auto. Prices range from about $350 for a base Mossberg 500 to around $700 or $800 for fully outfitted tactical models. I once read about a guy dealing with a full-blown blackout in his neighborhood. Just chambering a shell in his Remington 870 sent a group of looters running, no shots fired. That sound alone is a force multiplier. Now let's talk pistols. Not every threat gives you time to grab a long gun. Sometimes you need something compact, fast, and easy to bring into play at close quarters. This is where a reliable semi-automatic handgun comes into its own. Look at the Glock 19, a compact evolution of the groundbreaking Glock 17. Designed in Austria and released in 1988, the Glock 19 brought the same polymer frame and safe action system into a smaller, more versatile package. Or take the Sig Sauer P320, adopted by the United States military as the M17 and 18 starting in 2014. With a modular chassis that allows you to swap slides, barrels, and frames, the P320 is a remarkably flexible sidearm. Most of these handguns are chambered in 9mm, which delivers enough punch with manageable recoil and magazine capacities that often exceed 15 rounds. Their biggest advantages? Simple controls, fast deployment, and easy holster compatibility. With proper training, a good pistol becomes an excellent tool for defending your immediate space. But they do have trade-offs. Pistols take time to master. Accuracy drops fast without regular practice. and they're naturally less powerful and less stable than rifles or shotguns. Still, when every second counts, a good sidearm can mean the difference between survival and tragedy. A Glock 19 will usually run you around $500 to $600, while a SIG P320 might range between $550 and $700 depending on the configuration. There's a powerful story about a store owner during a major riot who, faced with multiple attackers, drew his compact pistol and held the line. That handgun helped him protect everything he had. But sometimes you need reach. Sometimes the threat isn't right in front of you, it's coming from the tree line or creeping along the edge of your land. That's when you reach for a rifle. And in today's world, the AR-15 stands as the most effective, customizable, and versatile long gun you can own. Originally developed by Eugene Stoner in the 1950s and later adapted into the military M16, the AR-15 has since become the go-to rifle for American gun owners. Chambered in 5.56 by 45 mm or .223 Remington, it's lightweight, low recoil, and deadly accurate. But its true strength lies in modularity. You can set one up for close quarters defense, precision shooting, or anything in between with the right upper, stock, and optic. That flexibility is why it's often called the modern musket. Whether you're a rancher protecting livestock or just a homeowner keeping watch during a crisis, the AR-15 gives you the firepower to engage threats at a distance. Still, it's not without its baggage. Political pressure and changing laws can make owning or configuring one complicated in certain states. But from a purely tactical standpoint, few rifles are as capable. Expect to pay around $700 for a decent entry-level model and over $2,000 for a premium custom setup. I've heard dozens of stories from folks using their AR to defend their homes during disasters or to drop a predator threatening their animals. It's the rifle you want when you need accuracy, reach, and capacity all in one package. Now let's get into a rifle of a different kind, something slower, but far more precise. When your mission shifts from defense to survival, and every single shot matters, nothing beats a quality bolt-action rifle. Consider the Remington Model 700, first introduced in 1962, or the Tikka T3X from Finland. Both are respected for their out-of-the-box accuracy and reliability. Chambered in time-tested calibers like .308 Winchester or 6.5 Creedmoor, these rifles are the sniper's scalpel. Their simple, solid design makes them incredibly accurate and rugged, perfect for hunting or precision work in rough conditions. A bolt gun forces the shooter to slow down and aim deliberately, which usually results in better shot placement. That means a higher chance of taking game cleanly or hitting a distant threat when it counts. And unlike semi-autos, bolt actions are usually more tolerant of dirt, cold, and hard use in the field. Downsides? Slower follow-up shots and smaller magazine capacity. But when accuracy is king, nothing else competes. A reliable bolt-action rifle can cost between $500 and $1,500, while long-range precision builds can run much higher. Imagine being out in the wilderness after a disaster. Game is scarce, and every round is precious. With a bolt gun, you make that one shot count. A single deer taken cleanly at 300 yards could feed your family for weeks. That's what a good bolt action brings: control, range, and confidence. Naturally, being prepared to survive tough times doesn't only revolve around firearms. Long before gunpowder ever existed, and even today, when a gun might not be an option, a dependable fixed blade knife has always stood as a pillar of survival and self-defense. I'm not talking about some flimsy folding knife tossed in a glove box. I mean a solid, full-tang blade crafted from high-quality steel. Think about blades from brands like ESEE, born from brutal jungle survival training deep in the Peruvian Amazon, or the iconic K-Bar United States Marine Corps utility knife. That blade has earned its stripes from World War II all the way through modern battlefields. The K-Bar, which hit the scene back in the year 1942, is more than just a knife, it's a symbol of grit and reliability. A well-made fixed blade can serve countless roles. It's your food prep tool, your fire starter, your shelter builder, your emergency medic. And when push comes to shove, it can be your last line of defense up close. Its strengths lie in its rugged build and mechanical simplicity. No moving parts means nothing to break. Its versatility is what really sets it apart. You can survive without a firearm, but getting by without a blade, that's a whole different challenge. Of course, it's not perfect. If you need to use it in self-defense, you've got to be up close and personal, dangerously so. And just like with firearms, using it properly for bushcraft or utility work requires some skill. A top-tier survival blade like the ESEC number 4 or the Becker BK number 2 will usually run you anywhere between $100 and $200. I've read more stories than I can count. Pilots stranded after a crash, hikers lost in the backcountry, where a good blade made the difference between survival and tragedy. The fixed blade knife is the original survival tool, an extension of both your hand and your determination to make it through. Now, when lethal force isn't the answer, or when you need a chance to escape without escalating the situation, a reliable can of high-strength oleoresin capsicum spray, better known as pepper spray, can be worth its weight in gold. While it might not have the cool factor of a shotgun or the primal appeal of a blade, overlooking its power would be a serious mistake, especially if you're building a layered, responsible approach to self-defense. Today's modern pepper sprays, from trusted companies like Sabre Red and Palm Industries, are light years ahead of those weak aerosol mists from decades past. These modern canisters pack serious heat, often rated by their major capsaicinoid content, the stuff that really causes that eye-searing, lung-burning effect. Their greatest strength? Instant, non-lethal stopping power. When properly deployed, a shot of this stuff can slam the brakes on an attacker, temporarily blinding them, choking their lungs, and giving you precious seconds to get to safety. Another advantage? Range. You don't need to be within arm's reach to use it effectively, and it's legal and concealable in a lot more places than a firearm. Of course, it's not perfect. Wind can blow it back at you, and it might not stop someone who's under the influence or doesn't feel pain. But for the price, usually between $15 and $40, it's a smart option to have in your kit. I've heard plenty of stories where someone used pepper spray to shut down a tense argument before it turned violent. No bullets, no blood, no court dates, just distance and time to escape. It's about having non-lethal choices when things get dicey. Closing out our list is a tool that blends the wisdom of the ancients with the power of modern engineering, the crossbow and the compound bow. Now, I know it might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of home defense, but in a survival scenario, a good bow brings some serious advantages. Let's talk about the crossbow first. With roots that trace back to ancient China, the modern crossbow has been completely reimagined by companies like Raven and 10-Point. These machines are whisper quiet, surgically accurate, and pack enough punch to bring down large game with ease. The compound bow, on the other hand, is a more recent innovation, dating back to the 1960s. Designed by Hollis Wilbur Allen, it uses a system of cams and pulleys to hold at full draw with ease, letting the archer aim longer and shoot more powerfully. The strength of these weapons lies in their silence and sustainability. Bolts and arrows are reusable. You're not burning through precious ammo, and you're not making noise that gives away your location. In a long-term survival situation, that can make a huge difference. Of course, these aren't rapid-fire tools. Reloading takes time, and they need space to operate. There's also a learning curve. Shooting a bow well takes regular practice, but the payoff is big. A quality hunting crossbow might cost you anywhere from $400 to well over $2,000. A solid compound bow setup will usually run $300 to $1,000 or more. Picture this. You're trying to quietly bring down a deer near a suburban area after a disaster. The bow lets you do that without alerting every set of ears in a 5-mile radius. It's a perfect mix of stealth, power, and renewable firepower. So there you have it, 7 survival tools, each offering something unique, each playing a different but equally vital role in a serious preparedness strategy. Whether it's the powerful deterrent of a 12-gauge shotgun, the adaptability of an AR-15, or the silent accuracy of a bow, the point isn't paranoia, it's responsibility. Being prepared isn't about fear. It's about knowing what could happen and choosing not to be caught off guard. The world's unpredictable. That much is certain. But what's also true is that we have the power to prepare, to learn, to adapt. The right tools are only part of the equation. The right mindset is just as important. So tell me, which of these tools do you see as absolutely critical? Did we miss one that's part of your own survival plan? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're packing and why. And if you found this breakdown helpful, if you appreciate real talk about gear that actually matters, go ahead and like the video, share it with folks who take preparedness seriously, and hit that subscribe button for more in-depth looks into the tools, weapons, and strategies that help keep us safe and self-sufficient. Remember, always check your local laws and know what's legal in your area. Ownership means responsibility. Every tool we discuss today is the result of generations of human problem-solving built to meet our most basic needs, safety and survival. And while the gear may evolve with technology, that fundamental drive to protect our families and way of life, that never changes. Stay sharp, stay aware, and most importantly, stay ready.